Okay, you guys know nothing about fandom and it obviously shows. So I'm going to need you guys to rope those two brain cells together and just imagine or pretend for a second that when I use Kingdom Hearts as an example, replace that with placeholder or input any fandom you're a part of and just, compare the two, alright? Just because I say Kingdom Hearts, you can think of something totally different. It's not that difficult. I would sugarcoat this, but it's the internet. You guys do not deserve my sugar, spice, and everything nice, alright? So look, it's fine. We used to have refreshers on what fandom speak was. Now we just assume everybody knows. But I've noticed this rising tide and toxicity that maybe the reason fandoms have become, well, uninhabitable or just plain terrible to be a part of. Maybe even the reason people become unnecessarily angry is because they have no idea how to engage in fandom. The problem is that people online are very reactionary. I see one thing and they immediately have an entire different conversation and jump 6 spaces ahead. And all of a sudden, I'm being called misogynistic and that I hate women. How did we get here? Okay, I was just talking about Kairi from Kingdom Hearts. How did we get from point A to point 100 in like 2 seconds? All because I'm not a fan of how the women in Kingdom Hearts are handled. A simple criticism gets someone labelled. There's no conversation or engagement, it's just a battle on who is right and wrong and who can successfully roast or own someone online, which is very emotionally taxing for someone like me because, like, I'm the type of person who kind of, thrives on constructive criticism. Like, I love something, but I can also hate something. I'm still passionate about the same thing, but people seem to think that any criticism I have and say, oh, Kingdom Hearts kind of sucks, by the way. That's not me actually hating it. That's me who likes it so much, but I can, poke fun at myself and say, hey, you know what it is? Kingdom Hearts actually does suck, alright? It's just ridiculous. Okay, 1 minute, I'm in the fandom, I'm having the time of your life, I'm using it as an escape from real life bullshit and everything, but every time I see something, or I see other people seeing some things, I'm seeing this weird reception. Okay, I mean, why are people so angry? It's just a fanfic. It's just a theory. It's just fiction. Like, there's no need to get so upset and go, people try so hard to make it canon. Face reality, it's not canon. No one said it was. Where did canon come from? Which is probably why so many people get annoyed. So I was going to do a video only about Sora Riku versus Sokai. Sora times Riku, Sora times Kairi, in case you guys didn't realise that. I want to talk about Kingdom Hearts ships, because I thought that would be fun. It's something I used to do as a kid. I thought, yeah, let's just replay the old video games and I'll go play some Kingdom Hearts 3 and then think, yeah, I want to do a video doing an analysis of every single interaction between these characters and why I ship them, because I thought, yeah, that might be fun and engaging. I also want to talk about the Sleeping Realm theory, but that's what started this whole discussion. When Kingdom Hearts 3, Remind, and, what was it? Melody and Memory, however you say it, it's MUM for short, came out, I turned off the internet to avoid spoilers, and because of the way I felt with the games, I only watched YouTubers and theory videos, and then I ended it there. I'm guessing I didn't have a Tumblr or Twitter at the time, so now in the year 2023, I fancied replaying the Kingdom Hearts games and thought, I'll go to fandom spaces and look if anyone is still around. And then I find this dumpster fire that is called the Sleeping Realm theory that apparently blew up the internet with so many people getting mad, defensive, saying the theory sucks, it's not canon, etc, blah blah blah. People were throwing around misogynist towards the Sora Riku shippers for hating Kairi and called it blatant sexism. How these people would be so allergic towards Sora Riku and had everyone throw around homophobia. Those fandoms that throw around sexism, homophobia, ableism, racism, any other ism, etc, it instantly becomes toxic. And it's true because everything I've just stated does not reflect Kingdom Hearts, the game itself. Anyway, I've already wasted 3 minutes of your time, so let's just do a refresher and talk about fandom speak. So here's a quick glossary of what this whole video will entail. Theories, alternate universes, rule swaps, fanfictions, fan art, those are kind of, what they see on the tin, so I won't really be discussing them in detail. Headcanon, fanon versus canon, and ships. When the internet was just a wee baby, ships were actually a small thing, but given that now all fandom consists of is mainly shipping, I'll start with that one first. So what is a ship? Okay, so a ship is when you see two characters together vibing and think, you know what, they make a cute couple. That's it. Be it platonic, for people who like friendships, the asexuals like me, it can be wholesome, whatever, or it can be romantic. Personally, I ship Namine with Shion, and I ship her with Kairi. I ship Roxas with Shion, so I'm a multi-shipper. I see something, I ship it. Don't care, sky's the limit. There is something called an OTP. This is short for one true pairing. It's the ship you really like. Sure, I like Sora and Kairi, but I also like Sora and Riku. Seeing Sora and Riku and Sora and Kairi is a mouthful, so we have ship names like Soriku, Sokai. When you ship two characters together, sometimes you blend and the names together, or sometimes they get their own special name to refer to it. Soriku is my main OTP, but it goes further if you happen to ship the three together. That can be referred to as an OT3. When you ship three together, and some people just keep adding things onto it, most people would refer to Sora times Kairi times Riku as the Destiny Trio, as a ship name. Now, a no TP is when you look at ships in Kingdom Hearts and think, no, it's not the vibe, you don't like the ship, or you don't get it, and you see people ship it and you go, I don't understand how someone can ship these two characters together, like shipping Sora and Riku? Huh? Most people don't see them as a romantic pair, and that is fair. My asexual arse keeps changing the spectrum to platonic to siblings, back to romantic, back to platonic again, so it's cool. If you don't like Sora and Riku, because well, Kingdom Hearts and Nomura had any other games that had canon queer parents, then sure. If the game logic doesn't make sense or you're seeing them as siblings, that's fine. Vice versa, if Sokai is not your, is your no TP, and you think other characters have way more chemistry and that Kairi is more of a prop, that's valid too. The gameplay in Kingdom Hearts 3 just didn't do them justice, but if you don't like it, that's fine. If you don't like Soriku because you played the game and just don't see it, that's okay. Same as Sokai. If you played the game and think the chemistry is lacking, that is also okay. But then if it progresses into anger, that your action is just hatred, it makes you angry to the point you get into arguments and start calling others delusional, you drag canon into it, that would make you an anti. And the A is for arsehole. Back then, when it came to antis, people were anti-ships. Anti didn't refer to what it means now. Pro-ship and anti-ship is a whole new kind of worms, and I'm not getting into that in this video, so yeah. Moving on. Truth is, when it comes to ships, when it's online, every discussion is in a fandom space. Therefore, all information or all discussion is fanon until canon says otherwise. Unless Nomura or the game devs actually give evidence that it's up for, then basically it's up for debate, which is why we call it canon. Canons shoot down ships, but when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, nothing has been official yet, even at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. Even at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, there were statements from interviews that they almost didn't include the Paopu scene, which is basically the crutch of every single argument that Sora and Kairi are canon, but if that scene wasn't included, then what's the point? Does it really matter? Most times, even if canon says otherwise, we recognise the council has made a decision, but given that it's a stupid ass decision, we've elected to ignore it. So why use that to see whether a ship is allowed to be enjoyed on the basis of it being canon? That's not the point. The point is just seeing two characters together and thinking they're neat. Logic has no seat at this table. Okay, what the fuck is canon? Well, as I said, canon, it kind of sinks the ship, but canon represents a product that has been publicised in a platform officially. For example, content made in music like The Lore of Gorillas, a movie, a TV series, a webtoon, or a YouTube series, things that's been publicised in official platform. Canon is basically concrete, it's airtight, it's unflexible, it cannot be changed, it is the law and the gospel and must be respected. Some of the times. We as a consumer can have interpretations or even theories on what the author intended, but the only person to confirm or deny is the author themselves. In basic English GCSE in my old school, we were told 5 things to remember on how to dissect a piece of literature. What the author intended, the evidence to prove this, such as the theme, the setting, the language, repetitions or information, and lastly, you. What is your opinion on this story? Unless the author says yes or no, if Nomura says yes, Soriku is endgame, then we won't shut up about it, but he hasn't. So even if we take scenes of the game, dialogue, moments between the two, heck, I can see this unnamed Keyblade when combined has a Paopu fruit, won't mean a damn thing until it's official in Kingdom Hearts games, and until Nomura himself approves it. No matter what, that is a fanon discussion. But we can't take evidence from canon to prove a theory, a ship, or a headcanon until it becomes canon in due time. I repeat, just because I use canon as my source doesn't make it canon. It's still in a fandom space. We're just theorizing, we're just spitballing into space at this moment. But the Paopu fruit is canon in the game. In the first game, it tells you it's a romantic fruit that can be shared between two people to share their destiny. Sure, both Sora and Kairi share one, but why does Sora and Riku's Keyblade, when combined, make a Paopu keychain? Why is that there, Nomura? So what is fanon? Fanon is when fans take canon information and make their own thing. Fandom is a creative space full of art, fanfics, videos, analysis, and theory compilations. Truthfully, some people ask, why would you ship Sora and Riku? So you get evidence from canon and explain it. But some people online think that people have been delusional, that when I say I love Sora-Riku, I was upset when Kairi and Sora shared a Paopu, and that this is endgame. That both Sora and Kairi are now official couple. The worst part is them thinking that since now that Sora and Kairi are officially canon, I'm not allowed to ship Sora and Riku. And this is why people are throwing around the word homophobia, because when it comes to Sora and Riku, everyone gets so upset and agitated over this ship, which is bizarre in itself. But to be fair, if I said I ship Riku with Naminé or I ship Sora with Kairi, you know, hetero couples, I get nothing. I get no hate, no flack, no aggressiveness. But when I see I ship Sora and Riku, then see, oh look, here's a moment in the game that makes me think, here, it's practically canon at this point, because look at that, Keyblade with a Paopu fruit. People get really upset, like, why are you so threatened? So at the end of the day, you kind of assume it's homophobia. But now, listen here, but even though I am gay, I am aware that some people despise Kairi. Okay, I admit Kairi makes me frustrated because I love that girl when I was a kid. She's been my favourite, okay? I just feel like she was held back by outside forces, but she was a strong character. The way she was handled in Kingdom Hearts 3 and Memory of Melody really ticked me off. I hate how they handled her. I hate Kairi. I hate her wasted potential. But try saying that on Twitter with a word limit. People who despise the character, and it's a very popular thing in fandom when people make the girl a villain to make the two gay guys get together. I've read it so many times in fanfictions and even official LGBT books that have that trope. It's ridiculous. And most people do play the game only for Sora and Riku. And yet, when LGBT gets involved, fandom gets a little spicy with the toxicity. Okay, I've seen it with Steven Universe, Voltron, Good Omens. Don't even start Good Omens fandom. You're not positive. Fuck you if you think it is. Okay, I've seen so much homophobia and aerophobia against asexuals. Do not even try me, alright? Anyway, in the past with creative media of all types, fans used to send fan letters, and you bet your ass that fandom has always been toxic, alright? It's just thanks to the internet we get to see more of it and bring more awareness to it. I bet you Nomura probably got hate mail going, you suck, at his office back in 2000. But thanks to Twitter, it brings creators, producers, writers and artists who work on a show to be able to talk to and engage in fans on the internet. Which has to be the most stupidest thing Twitter has ever done. Okay, they should have two accounts. An anonymous account, one for their own downtime, and their professional one where they advertise the product, okay? With Voltron, so many fans were messaging the voice actors and giving them flack for the absolute shit show that was Voltron, okay? Even though Bex Taylor didn't have any control of what happened with the script, it's not like she was writing it. Okay, so when you say posts of Kingdom Hearts fans going, I hate Kairi, and if Sora-Riku doesn't happen, I'm gonna fucking flip, does make you think that some people in the fandom take it too far. Will they start cyberbullying both Nomura or anyone in the fandom? Will they try to boycott the game or even start saying, God forbid, Kingdom Hearts is queerbait? Or refuse to play the game unless they make Sora and Riku official, which I'd rather they didn't. I know Kingdom Hearts is a romantic game, but I just prefer the power of friendship than anything else. Personally, I think Sora and Riku are written better, but I know at the back of my mind they won't be canon because I'm not baiting myself. Good Omens, an interview with a vampire, is literally right there. Or again, I can make my own queer content. If it does become canon though, you bet your ass I will be screaming it from the rooftops, but people who are older will keep that distance because we've been hurt before with queer baiting. Bury your gays in the new, but no less problematic, pandering, or as I call, the gear band-aid. Slap LGBT onto a show and it's immediately better, even if the writing sucks. Trust me. But what everyone forgets is three things. One, it's owned by Disney, who suck. Two, they've wrote so Kai since the first game. It'll be weird for some fans of the game that they've played since the start and think Sora and Kairi have been established from day one, and is suddenly tossed in the trash for Sora and Riku. And number three, it's made in Japan. Usually most shonen genres have two guys who are just really close friends with better chemistry, and that's just how it is. Like My Hero Academia and Naruto, it's just two rivals who become friends again, etc. With these obstacles in place, it's just a pipe dream to think Sora-Riku will be official, but it doesn't mean I get to stop shipping them. It's fun. It's how I engage with media. Well, what the heck is an alternate universe? For sure, it's called an AU. The thing fandom destroyed back when Tumblr left in 2018. I miss AUs. Anyway, back on Tumblr, creators will create an AU. Usually it's exactly like canon with just a tiny little change. For example, Voltron was all the same except Lance was an Altian. Thing is, in fandom, when we see Lance as an Altian, we would like to keep it in the fandom. There are some things that need to be kept separate, okay? There's fandom and canon, two separate things. I love Altian Lance in fanon. Fucking hated it in canon. It didn't make sense and it ruined his character. Why did they do this? And other fun ones. In Kingdom Hearts there was an AU as Sora was 6 and he was taken in by the organisation. I mean, look at him in his little white coat and burning off Zigbar's face. That was adorable. This was a cute AU. It didn't happen in canon, but who cares? It's just fun. And reading Charlie's comics on Tumblr about the way Kingdom Hearts could have gone, seriously, this art has done more for Kairi than Square Enix, so I love them for that. Then there's Soranot. In Dream Drop Distance, Sora was almost possessed by Xehanort. His colours were also getting darker. Xehanort wears black, red, some cream, the dark colours and everything. And Sora's outfit is starting to progressively get darker with each new installment. So Soranot was a very fun fairy. We honestly thought he was going to get possessed along with Aqua in Kingdom Hearts 3. Or turn evil later on. But then Kingdom Hearts 3 went psych. So, an alternative universe is pretty much what it says on the tin. It was fun when Tumblr users would get an ask by a user or an anon and would respond with an answer of this universe that they created, or draw a comic and answer instead. Gravity Falls is a good example with swap files where both the twins are in the roles of Pacifica and Gideon, or usually an anti-character where you made the character evil, etc, etc. It goes on. Luckily, only with fanfiction like AO3, we do have a better setting with alternate universe, because we used to have all of the universes in like lumped together, which really frustrated the heck out of me, because I was like, no, it's different. Okay, there's a difference between an alternate universe where technically, imagine if Sora was the one who didn't get the Keyblade and he was taken in by Maleficent, versus Sora and Riku being in school together or being in a coffee shop AU or a flower shop AU. That's a modern setting. I was like, these two are two different things. One is any story where it's basically like, you know, anyone could be in that, okay? It's just whatever. Like, you could just take the names out and you could put any type of ship into it and that story would still be the same. Nothing would change. Meanwhile, a Kingdom Hearts AU, that's basically set in the universe of Kingdom Hearts itself. So finally, we now have two tags and it's about freaking time. It's like, thank you, because like, I don't mind modern settings. I just don't like reading modern settings. It's like, I kind of want to see the Kingdom Hearts story and see the different branches and alternate realities of where they could just like, you know, each direction and pathway that they could have like went in. Imagine if everything went wrong. Imagine if they lost. Imagine if they all won. Imagine if Xehanort got redeemed like quite a way through the games, you know? It's like there's so many possibilities of where this could have went, and you know, I think it's about time that we finally like, you know, had a proper tagging system for this. I got a theory, could be a demon, a dancing demon, no, something isn't right there. Look, when it comes to Kingdom Hearts theories, I could be here all day, there's like so many. So, what is a theory? Well, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not a fact. Yes, we can take it canon as evidence and use that to back up our claims or our theories or headcanons. Sometimes a theory is proven true, or sometimes it falls apart like a stack of cards with one new information. And yeah, it like any theory can get ruined with a new game or installment, which is why it's called canon, because canon kind of destroys everything. Truthfully, most theories were never wasted, as they would then be adapted into an alternate universe instead. So many people hate MatPat for this. Like, again, calm down. It's just a theory. It's not a fact. But yeah, inhale, exhale. I mean, sure, if you're passionate and it's because the canon evidence doesn't add up and it takes one little detail to make it fall apart, then yeah, I can understand the irritation. Maybe people's like, yeah, I'm just passionate because it's a weak argument. I would actually understand and accept all these theories if they actually had some good stuff to back it up. There's the realm of belief. It's a phrase thing where basically it's like people keep creating this theory, they give you a ton of facts and you go, yeah, all right, I got you. But when it gets too far out of the realm of possibility, then the theory just snaps. And at that point, it's like, you've lost me. Or, I'm going to separate this from canon because it's too far-fetched, it's too wacky to be affiliated with this. But some people get really annoyed with it and get really agitated. And at that point in time, just walk away. The thing about fanon is that it's fluid, it's subjective, and it's up to interpretation. It's about what feels right. It's an impulse, okay? Canon is concrete, it's immovable. Fanon is Play-Doh. We can make whatever the heck we want with it, alright? And when we say something, it doesn't mean that it's official, okay? And it doesn't also leave the confines of fanon. So if we say something on the internet and it's not actually proven with any evidence at all, chances are it's just fanon, like talk and everything. So it's better to just like, you know, leave it as it is. So, you know, if someone online basically says that Sora and Riku are like a canon couple, that's actually on you if you get upset, alright? Because at the end of the day, if you play the game and... Because at the end of the day, you could play the game, but do you see Sora and Riku kissing? No. So why are you getting upset, alright? Because at the end of the day, it's not hurting them, it's not hurting you. Just ignore it and walk away. But the thing is, you don't see Sora and Kyrie kissing either, so suck on that. But anyway, speaking about wacky theories, I actually have one for you. For example, I can say here's a theory. Sora is the embodiment of Kingdom Hearts. Okay, so get ready to get your mind blown. He had a weird dream in Kingdom Hearts 1 to open a door. Boom! Kingdom Hearts appears. In Kingdom Hearts 2, he was asleep for the duration of a year. But when he wakes up, boom! Kingdom Hearts. Then Kingdom Hearts 3, that appears again. It didn't appear in Recorded and Dream Drop Distance. You know why? Because Sora wasn't Sora in Dream, like in Recorded. It was dear Sora, okay? And yet, your journal had the capacity to have Heartless and Light, and in Dream Drop Distance, he was asleep. Sora vanished as in Shibuya, and Master and Masters make a heart at the moon because Kingdom Hearts has moved with Sora because Sora is the embodiment of Kingdom Hearts. Plus, if worlds can have a heart and fall to darkness, and worlds can also fall asleep and have dreams in darkness, dreams and feelings can take form of Heartless, and there's also Unversed. Weird that they exist, okay? Why is it that Ventus has this ability that his dark side can make Unversed, which is basically based on his emotions? The Unversed is based on Vanitas' negative emotions. No other character has that ability. And the thing is, it didn't seem like a Ventus ability, but since Vinny just looks like Sora, it makes you think, is it a Sora ability? Nah, but I got yous, didn't I? We call this a crack theory, okay? Something so bullshit insane that there's no way it's even feasible, never mind entertain, that it could happen. It's too meta, it's too much. Like, it's just a dream theory that everyone's actually dead. You know, like, people hate those theories. And yeah, I have to admit, it is actually a pretty compelling one. It's so dumb. Compels me, though. We had tons of crack theories and even crack ships, which is why you don't take theories so seriously, because it's all speculation. At the end of the day, it's just harmless fun. If you want an example of a crack ship, there's Aqua and Sephiroth. We even call this a rare pair, another word for a ship with two characters who barely react or interact with each other or have never been in the same room, and they just get shipped together because, you know what, they're kind of cute. Well, people do see things online and they do kind of want a yes and no answer. They think in black and white, and I think it's either canon or it's just wrong, okay? And if you see something that's not in the confines of canon, you should delete this post, obliterate it. How dare you have an idea of maybe what if Kingdom Hearts was actually reverse, and it turns out that Mickey Mouse was the main character and Sora was the one who disappeared in Kingdom Hearts 1. But you know, how dare you think of like changing anything about Kingdom Hearts and just keep it as it is? And that's okay, because I understand why people don't want people to touch this thing that like, because there's too much change happening in the world already with like this whole changing all these characters, reboots, re-spending, gender bending, and people are getting sick. So at this point in time, not really surprised. But the thing is, it's very boring. Okay, as a creator myself, I hate taking things as they are because it can be so much better. It's just not a fun way to engage in fandom. And again, it could be more gay, could be more queer. So when people say, this is practically canon, end of, it's like, yeah, but I don't really care. What I mean to say is that I thought fandom was like an understood thing. I thought everyone was on the same, wavelength. We all thinking the same thing, that just because we see something on the internet about something that we like, doesn't mean that's a fact. So I thought every single person was like, oh yeah, when we talk about ships, theories, alternate universes and everything, it's all in the confines of fanon. No one really cares. So when you're seeing all this negativity coming around, it's like, what? And you see majority of these people who are negative, who get really upset, really hateful, are the ones who's thrown around canon and seem to use that as a weapon to like shut people down, to stop people from being creative. And that's what I have an issue with. So yeah, if in this video I'm starting to sound like really mad and irritated and agitated, then yeah, it's because I basically was playing a Kingdom Hearts game and went online. I just wanted to see cute fan art, fan fiction, as well maybe some comics of what people used to draw back then, or maybe new fan art of Kingdom Hearts 3 or new theories coming out. I was not expecting this absolute bullshit of all these people getting really upset over something like fictional characters in a video game that's a crossover between Disney and Final Fantasy with Nomura's edgy OCs. Okay, I can't deal. And it's frustrating because it's like, it's no fandom secret. It's nowhere, okay, there's nowhere for me to escape to for a stress relief. Like, come on. Honestly, I might make a separate video for this because Sleeping Realm Theory pissed me off that much to make this one. And even I think 24 minutes in, I don't have enough time. But let's just deal with it. Anyway, so onto the Sleeping Realm Theory. I have one word to say for it. Reactionary. So many people in the fandom are very reactive. You make a statement like, I like the colour pink, and someone's response is, oh, you have something against the colour blue? No. How did seeing one thing jump ahead to 6 steps to mean something else? I swear with interactions like that, it's giving me anxiety. Okay, I'm starting to like resent fandom spaces now because we can't just talk about a Disney game where you smack Heartless with a key. Why did it become so stressful? And when people do make steps to appease these types, others react to those statements and cause a domino effect. No matter what, someone will be offended. Alright, so the Sleeping Realm Theory. Here I am, replaying Kingdom Hearts, thinking, let's read some theories. I wonder what the new ones are. I remember when we thought Terra was Sora's dad, or even Sora himself in the future. I thought Sora was Kingdom Hearts. So many theories. So I came across this new Sleeping Realm one that is almost 500 pages long. I am not reading that, okay? So I look at the fandom to see if there was a too long didn't read version, and it turns out there was this whole drama thing, a shipping war to be exact, that I completely missed. It was funny because I was actually talking to people on Twitter about it and thinking, wait, what the fuck, what did I miss? And even they were like, where were you? Were you living under a rock? And I was like, well, basically, I kind of blocked the Kingdom Hearts tag because when Kingdom Hearts 3 was coming out along with Remind and Melody and Memory, I did not, of course, want to be spoiled. So I kind of deleted my Twitter. So when I finally came back to it years later, turned out all this drama happened like a year ago. So I'm very far behind. And yeah, it's kind of sad. But they were like, you know, fair enough. And it's like, yeah, it turns out I got spoiled anyway from Instagram. You know, you never realize it's the program you trust the most. But that's the thing. What did ships have to do with this theory? And worst of all, I can't help but think that there has to be some miscommunication there. I mean, come on. So you have one side going, people who ship Sora and Riku are saying that this ship is canon and official. They're shoving their queer agenda down our throats and are delusional. Meanwhile, there's Sora Riku's ship is squatting in the corner, eating moss, and they're being very chill. Then there's the other side going, Kairi is just plain awful. Hate this bitch. She shoves a poo-poo in Sora's face, same way as how they shove heteronormative ships down our throats, yet you don't see Sora Riku shippers complaining. Overall, I'm feeling shafted on both sides because I love all 3 of them. So when you see, you know, Sora and Kairi get hate, and then you see Sora and Riku get hate, I'm just in between just screaming like, like why? I love these characters. Why would you do this to these characters that I love? Why would you hate one side? I can't deal. So, yeah. What was funny is that most claim that the theory was biased towards Sora Riku, and guess what? From what I can, you know, skim, because I'm dyslexic and I'm not doing this to myself, but from what I skimmed, it was biased, alright? It did say that Riku did a true love sacrifice, and then it mentioned him clenching his fists, which didn't feel relevant to the theory at all. And then with Kairi, they compared it to her dark side and kept trying to, with the way they wrote it, it was kind of insinuating that Kairi was a bit insidious and was being very like, ugh, evil, like a evil stepmother queen type of thing. It's like, what the heck? And people's even and the theory also went into detail about how she didn't bite her part of the poo-poo and it came across as sketchy. And that's bits I read. And the thing is that people will lock onto that and say, see, this theory hated Kairi, like Soriku, therefore it's shit. But the thing is, there's people who have read the theory who's like, you can tell you didn't read the theory because I've read the theory. And the thing is that, yeah, sure, there's some Soriku shipping in there, but it does not say that Kairi is, you know, a bitch. And at this point in time, I do think it's the way the person phrased it, because I can look at it and think, on one hand, it's not that bad. Like, they don't go out of the way to be malicious. It's more like, I think the writer might have subconsciously written Kairi a certain way, and some people were picking up on that. And so that's why some people got really upset. If anything, I just think that the Sleeping Realm theory needs editing, condensing, and revising. I think it needs to be a bit more easier to read, condensing. It's like, I think there was just too many things in there that was not quite relevant to the theory. There was just some things in there, like Riku clenching his fist. Didn't need to be in there, and it just bulked up this whole thing to the point where majority of people were like, I'm not reading this. And even I'm sitting there thinking, I still haven't read it, and even now I still look at the Google Doc that's in my, Google Docs and thinking, oh my god, I'm going to try to read this, but it's a dyslexic nightmare. But the thing is about interpretations is that the writers may have put elements on Soriku, but you can still read the theory and not be so reactive to it. It was very telling. For example, Riku doing a true love sacrifice in the game was no different than true love's case in Maleficent. Alright, platonic true love exists. So people getting overly angry at this concept felt really stupid to me, okay? That it made you think, why did they get angry? Because did they forget the difference between platonic and romantic love? Or they just couldn't ignore that part and continue reading the theory? I mean, you can't ignore that bit and still read the theory. As some parts of it that my dyslexic ass could translate was actually really good. I'm not dunking on the sleeping realm theory, I just think it needs editing, but from what I can take from it, I actually thought it was pretty interesting. It's just really hard to read. Okay, yep, since this is the end of the video, and I think majority of people who were already originally watching this has left by now, and there's no one here to watch this, so I'm gonna put this here. Feel free to skip, because I'm going to be talking about not safe for work and safe for work. It had to be included, it's part of fandom. I'm not comfortable with this at all, but we've got to get somewhere and start this off. Anyway, not safe for work and safe for work includes the word work, meaning they assume you're 18 plus. It means if you're on a computer scrolling through whatever platform you use, do you have 100% certainty that it's, well, safe to scroll through with your employer standing behind you? If yes, it's safe for work. If no, and you see a hot anime waifu with aqua on your page, then it's not safe for work. It's what it says on the tin. Also, when I was a minor myself on DeviantArt, it was a full place of lots of fun things like tickling feet kink, fat kink, giant woman stepping on small man with her naked feet kink. All I want to do is see you turn into a giant woman. Okay, so when people took these characters and made not safe work of them, it was fine when they aged them up during DeviantArt back then. And to me, I've said, it's fine. I'm a kid myself. I approve of this. Truthfully, I did read and watch videos on websites that was not Tumblr, Pinterest, YouTube, Twitter, DeviantArt. These websites I've listed are technically safe for work sites, as most parents let their kids use them. Any website that is not listed, if you go to watch animated videos of fanfiction or even comics, are basically adult rated. It's adult YouTube, by the way, if you guys want to know. So, of course, since Kingdom Hearts is a big franchise and because of Disney characters, you assume you have kids and Disney adults part of the fandom. And some adults like to see their favourite characters in compromising positions. Since I was on DeviantArt, I'm desensitized to that stuff and found not safe for comics on Kingdom Hearts that were even on YouTube as well. The thing is, I'm of the opinion that not safe for work will always be on the internet and will have its place in any fandom. There are just two different people who have a difference of opinion, but we all have the same goal. So thinking like a parent, I think, either we tell people to delete that stuff and not to make or consume that content, and if they do, punish them severely for it. And dear strict parents or kids of strict parents, did this help? No, kids go out and sneak around and are better liars and end up exposed to a ton of stuff without adult supervision. By refusing a space and have it properly tagged and moderated, it just opens it up for chaos. Rather than having it untagged and exposing tons of people to that type of stuff. Also, kids are curious and they would end up exposed to that stuff on their own alone rather than be told why seeing Sora naked is bad. Even though it's canon in the Kingdom Hearts game, you get to see his chest everywhere. But anyway, there is no button to turn it on and off without faff, and now Tumblr allows not safe work with a real person. Hi Jeff. Yet when it comes to artwork that's not safe work, that's problematic. Okay, so a real naked person on Tumblr is okay, but a cartoon naked person is apparently crossing the line. Why? I'm so confused. I'm basically saying that not safe for work is going to exist either way. The only thing we can control is how easy it is to find. Personally, I think not safe work should be very, very difficult to find, okay? And right now, it's too easy to find. Anyway, I find myself thinking I was exposed to tons of not safe for work stuff in Kingdom Hearts fandom as a kid, but as an adult, I found myself thinking, Yeah, do as I say, not as I do, alright? It's okay for me to look up that type of stuff as a kid, but since the franchise has gotten so big, I think, yeah, Kingdom Hearts Not Safe for Work should be really hard to find. No, it's not safe for work for you. But yeah, at the end of the day, because Kingdom Hearts is a Disney thing, and because it's the internet is for porn, there's literally a song about it on Avenue Q. And yeah, I think it's just like try hard to stay safe, try hard to like, not get into the dark side of Kingdom Hearts and everything, because there will be some stuff out there. I've seen tons of it on Pinterest. And yeah, I basically left this one last because it's literally duh, and it basically goes through me because like my year sexual arse, it's like a switch. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, Kingdom Hearts stuff, I've seen lots of it when I was a kid, but as an adult, I'm not fierce anymore. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I'd rather end up there than in anything else. So I hope you guys like this video and the speed paint. I hope you guys like my little rant, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!